Drinking water streaming. Mama 撞头 right? Is it? Oh no, then the mad guy. Oh no, then the boy draw the picture, right? Hello. Test. We'll wait for 2 minutes to see if anybody else is coming. Hello, come on. Your 4D is not very good. They are making very simple mistakes. But Ziyuan is not bad for history. I mean for SS. Ziyuan, Jiaxing and Frankie. So these 3 people pass your SPQ. History should be quite easy because the essay is the same topic that I've told you many times. Okay, let's start before they start to complain. Okay, so for Sec 2, very simple. Look at your SPQ again. Tomorrow when you do a paper, this is your test, so just give you an example. Tomorrow when you look at your paper and you see an inference question, please underline the factor Japanese occupation, then underline life. What does it tell you about life? So they want you to talk about specifically about life under the JO. Okay, So make sure that you write exactly what they tell you. If they say what does it tell you, you must say it tells me that blah 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 blah. Okay, so let's look at the the answer. Okay, so follow the question. What does it tell you about life? So it tells me life. Okay, this is very important. If you don't put the same words as the question, you will get 0 marks. I repeat, if you don't put the same word as the question, you will get 0 marks. Next thing, if they ask you about JO, please write about JO, because many of the Sec 4s are still making this mistake of not referring to the question. So JO, then adjective, harsh. Okay, don't give a description, don't copy the source, don't describe. Give your inference. Okay, from the picture, don't say that life under Japanese occupation people are tortured, because that is what I see in the picture, people are tortured. So you must tell me what about life. What does this torture tell you about life? Tells me that life was harsh. Okay, so that is that. So remember to follow the question. Always follow the question. Next, for the why part now. Okay, I want to see the word because. Now, the Sec 4s also, some of you are writing outcome without the message. Some of you are writing the message without the outcome. So for a publication like this, which is more of a propaganda thing, you must find out the message first, then you write the outcome. And when you write the context, the word because, make sure that you write the purpose with because as well. Okay? So the Japanese published this photograph because, so you must answer is a form of a reason. This because, the function of this word because is to tell you that you are giving your answer in the form of a reason, so they're clear. They hope to influence people. Again, strong action verb. I don't want to see any tell me, show me, or to tell me or infer this thing. I want a strong action verb, influence, persuade, reassure, and so on and so forth. Then in the context of this is that the British were no longer superior. Okay, this is very simple. Then I know this, blah blah blah. Then evidence. Okay, evidence is a must. There must be an evidence. So please describe the picture. Write every single thing you see in the picture that relates back to undefeatable superior race. Okay, don't just give a random piece of evidence that does not relate to your claim, your message. Okay, I want to see evidence for this message that the British were no longer superior. Okay, so outcome means the last part, please put your outcome. So because they hope to influence people who saw the photograph that the British were no longer. Okay, message is here very clear. Then the evidence very clear. Then hopes. Okay, use the word hopes. Hopes that people in Singapore would stop supporting the British and instead give their support to the new rulers, the Japanese. Okay, so this for purpose. Now, one example of a mistake that people will make. So one mistake is that people often write. Some of you will do this. The picture was published because at that time now this way of writing, although you got right because here, but you are writing because to explain the context. Okay, you are not writing to explain your inference. So this thing you will still get 0 marks for this. So make sure even in your second line, you must write the source was published because. So even in your second line, you must put the word because again. If you choose to do it this way. Why do you choose to do it this way? Because if you write the context, this is the context here, what was happening at the time, you will get 2 marks for this context. Okay, if you write the successful message or outcome, you will get 3 to 4 marks for this successful message plus outcome with the evidence. So make sure evidence relates also. Okay. Okay, so that is for the purpose. So I hope you're clear. I hope you write the word because. I don't see anybody who did not write because. And what is a purpose question is a why. If they ask you why publish this, please start with it was published because blah 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 blah. And write convince, persuade, reassure, encourage, criticize. This type of words, I don't want to see tell, show. Please tell, show, also wrong, all wrong. So make sure it doesn't show up tomorrow in your answer. Next thing. If you write the source tells me was published because it tells me that blah blah blah, that is wrong also. You'll get 0 marks for that. So please avoid the 0. Think about the message, think about the outcome, and put it all in one paragraph. Okay? So for similarity, it's very easy. What I want to see is the question. If they say how similar, please give me 1 similarity and 1 difference. Okay? Please, different. When you write your different, make sure that you write the word whether or extent. So I repeat again what I said in class. There are 3 things. Degree, reason, or whether. Whether means this one says that this impact was like this, but the other source says the impact was different. Reason means what the reasons for separation, reasons for merger. They can have different reasons to why certain things happen. Degree means they can be different degrees as to how much people were affected by such things. So in this case, the one that this answer is using is on the degree. So they use degree in terms of the extent of terror and executions. Okay, so source C says almost all Chinese men were taken and killed. Okay, this says, can you change this says to tells me? Don't use this, tells me almost all Chinese men were killed. but however, source D says that, or tells me that some were spared, right? Some were killed, but some were found to be of use to the Japanese. So here it's very clear the difference is the extent of the terror. So for JO, this may come out. If they ask you what is the difference, they can also ask you whether people were treated harshly or not. Then you look at evidence, topic sentence. So this topic sentence first, please do not jump to writing about. Don't jump to writing about the evidence. Please put your topic sentence first. See, and your topic sentence must relate to your criteria. Your evidence must also relate to your criteria. Okay? So 5 to 6 marks for 1 similarity, 1 difference, you will get 5 to 6 marks. For content, that's all we're asking for. So some examples. Okay, let's do a similarity first. So similar in terms of saying that the Japanese treated people cruelly, brutally. So saying, please change to telling me. So both say they are telling me that people in Singapore were treated cruelly, brutally and inhumanly. Okay, this doesn't contradict with your difference, because for your difference you are also saying that they were treated this way, but your difference is saying the extent, whereas the similarity is that yes, it happened, it was like this. So make sure when you write similar and difference, your similarity and difference do not contradict each other. Okay, you cannot say that they are different on okay, you cannot say that they are similar in that people were treated harshly. Example, if you write this and then you write the difference, they are difference on whether people were treated harshly. Now this example, this does not make sense because your similarity is that they were both treated harshly, but your difference say that whether people were treated harshly, so you're not making sense. So when you look for similarity and difference, look for something that makes sense. Okay, the two sources cannot be similar and yet different at the same time in talking about same things. So here extent is different, the extent of the terror, but the similarity is yes, there was terror, there was brutality that happened. Okay, then source C similarly, source D says blah blah blah, and you will get it. Okay, so if you look at the thing, one of the similarity or one of the difference will be very obvious. So in this case, this issue asks about how was life in Singapore during the JO. So the obvious similarity was that both of them were treated very harshly, so that's obvious. So the difference, you have to look a bit harder, more in depth into the difference. So here the difference is whether they were had jobs or not, or they were killed instantly. So it's the degree. So I can infer the difference is the degree in the suffering. So let's go through some of the possible ways they can ask you. So for JO, they will ask you what was life like, so harsh. Okay, this most probably will come out. What was life like, right? How were the different races treated? Different races treated differently, right? So Chinese were tortured under doctrine, but the Malays were worked for the Japanese, some of them, and the Indians joined the Indian National Army. So this way they were treated differently in terms of the harshness. Okay, so it can be the degree of the harshness. You can also talk about life, whether they had jobs, whether they had education, whether they live in slums, did they have a good life, right? Whether people trusted one another. So these are some things they can ask you also. Specifically about the jobs, about education, about the money, about the price of goods, right? So you read the source carefully. Don't make sure you don't describe, give an inference. Okay, so what about the next topic, which is merger and separation? So for the difference, most likely the difference they will ask you about the reasons, most likely, which means that what's the difference between the two sources. They are different in terms of what is the reason for merger, reason for separation, and you must know what are the different reasons, so you can give your inference directly there. Okay, they can also ask you about people's thoughts. Did they like the separation? Were they for the separation? Were they against the separation? Then if they ask you about purpose, what do you think will come out? Of course, it will be something along the lines of, why did Mr. Lee say this? after separation, right, he will need to motivate his citizens to work hard for his new government after separation. Okay, or for merger, why did they merge? So why did Mr. Lee produce this radio documentary? Because he wants to convince the Singaporeans to vote for the merger, right? So things like that, voting for merger or acceptance of separation. So these are some of the things that can come out. So they may ask you also, what exactly is the reason? You can write the racial or the money issue, the taxation, and so on and so forth, or the situation is very bad. Okay, so it's all about the disagreements between the Singapore and Malaysia PM. So look out for the disagreements. Then you can answer the question well. Okay, so that's for SBQ. Any question before I move to the essay very quickly? So to summarize, for SBQ, what I want to see is clarity in your answer. Do not start writing immediately, you will be wrong. So at the side of your paper, can you write this down? For inference, if you're doing inference, write down the ATQ, the evidence, explain. Then write down check question demands. Did you follow the question or not in your answer? So for comparison, it's all about the criteria. Did you write a strong criteria? Did you use whether, reasons, degree? Then check for difference. Did you put a topic sentence for each source? Is your evidence related to your criteria? Are all the aspects of the evidence listed down clearly? Okay, one paragraph per similarity or difference, please. So make sure your criteria is strong. The criteria, whether they blah blah blah, the similar and telling me that the topic sentence for each answer for difference. Please, source A tells me that this, but source B tells me that this. Okay, criteria first, then difference, and make sure you do not lift from this part. Only lifting when you're doing your evidence. Okay, next part, make sure all inferences are tell. Use tell. If they don't give you a word, use tell. Don't use show. Show says is wrong. So for explaining, please, implies, this means. Do not use show. Show is wrong. Okay, and lastly, express as a reason for purpose. So because they want to convince audience, that reasons plus evidence, then outcome, hope that what will they do. Can, very easy, shouldn't be a problem. Can. Okay, let's move to essay. Who is RQQ? Okay, so for essay, very easy. Chapter 7 and 8 is all in this little booklet here. What I want you to know is that your answer must be very neat. So let me use this, overcome economic. Okay, describe, hello, test, describe, I need 2 topic sentences per the question. Okay, so it asks you to explain the strategies. Main point first, what is the strategy? Diversifying the economy. Okay, developing manufacturing in industries. So make sure you know the main point. Then all the examples, this includes what company doing this to do what, and in turn these companies, how will it lead to an increase in employment to people. Okay, check this word. This is what they want you to find out. Providing employment. So when you look at the question tomorrow, check what is the ultimate outcome they want you to achieve with your factor, with your strategy. In this case, the strategy outcome is to provide employment. So when you write your strategy, make sure you link your strategy to how it provides employment. So what if people set up factories? So what if there are more MNCs here? So what? So this will provide employment because job opportunities and technical training for Singaporeans will come. Okay, they will have facilities and space for further expansion. They will have more industrial estates such as Jurong. This in turn will give people more training. When they have more training, they are more employable. When they are more employable, hence this will provide employment for people after independence. Okay, then if you talk about infrastructure, make sure your main point is clear. The government wants to prepare infrastructure to attract MNCs and foreign investors. So how does this provide employment, jobs for people? So you tell me what are the infrastructure first. So it's the port, the telecommunication, and the banking systems. Okay, as well as education. So in this way, people can acquire the skills in the changing economy. Okay, so then there's employment. Okay, telecommunication and finance is another point. Finance and industries. So make sure you tell me what tourism, what finance, what industries. So all these things, when the foreigners come here, opportunities to be employed in the financial sector, opportunities for employment in the tourism sector. That is how jobs are created. That is how the economy can prosper and thus provide employment. So don't use this as a model essay and write exactly the same, because each question will be different. You must always check this. The factor will be the same. The factor can be the same, but the outcome they want you to provide is different. So here it says that the outcome they want you to provide is employment. So you must link your factor to employment in your own words. Can? So that is that. Can? So if you do that, you should be okay. Then let's look at the other question. It asks you about promoting sense of belonging after independence. So this is a challenge. What is the challenge? Okay, so promoting citizenship because not many people care about citizenship responsibility. Many people born and qualified in Malaysia, as a result had to urge people to take up Singapore citizenship. Okay, so why is it difficult? Because it was solved. Without this, you cannot solve the economy, housing, education. If people are not united, then you cannot solve all these problems. Therefore, you need a sense of belonging. You need to solve this sense of belonging. Okay, so how to promote a sense of belonging? So two factors give two main points first. Make sure your main point is clearly stated. First, national pledge. Then you write what is the pledge, what does it emphasize. Then here they're asking you about sense of belonging. So how does the pledge give you a sense of belonging? It must be clearly stated. Because when you recite, you would see themselves as united as Singaporeans because you're saying it every day. And you're doing it together with other people. So hence, sense of belonging. Okay, if you write NS, then you write what is NS? Different people, different race, religion, and economic background come together to defend the country. So again, you have a common purpose. When you have a common purpose, that is when you are united, you identify with this purpose, and hence there's a sense of belonging. Okay, it's because of your identity, how you identify yourself to the common purpose, that will help you have a sense of belonging. Next are HDB flats. So in HDB flats, it's all about people staying in satellite towns, staying with common facilities. So what if you have all these facilities and you have people staying, a particular group staying in one HDB estate? Okay, you must know that because of this, you have a stake in Singapore. So ownership equals a stake. When you have a stake, that's when you feel like you belong to the country because you own a piece of the country in terms of the HDB estate. Okay, so because it's affordable, you can own it, you can grow a family, you'll want to stay here more, right? You'll feel more attached to the country, you'll feel more a sense of belonging. Attachment. Okay, another way you can write is also that because people from different groups are interacting with one another, there's a common space where different groups will get to know one another, be familiar with their culture, and thus you can promote belonging, bonding, and thus people will start to feel attached to the country and have a sense of belonging. Okay, so that is for the essay. So make sure you write your so for essay, the two main things you need to know is don't just copy this whole essay and write it down. Please make sure that you look at what they're asking you of the outcome. Okay, in this way they say the outcome is sense of belonging. Link your factor to sense of belonging. Okay, so make sure you have two clear main points, then evidence of the points, make sure it's very clear, then relate back to what the question is asking. So if you're not sure, can you write this? This creates, so factor, then you write because. This will force you to write the explanation. So this will force you to write the explanation, which will help you in your essay. Okay, if you fail to give a main point or subsequent you fail to give good evidence, then it's wrong. So make sure you explain. So explain it well and then you can do well. Okay. Economy factors are if you look at this paper, tourism and finance is 1 point, proper infrastructure is another point, and developing the MNCs is 1 point, manufacturing industries and MNCs. So whatever they're going to ask you, make sure that you write these main points and then link it to whatever the outcome suggests. Okay, then for challenge of economic challenge, main point, difficulty in developing our own industries, right? Because we don't have Malaysia anymore, right? Malaysia left us, making it difficult for it to grow. Indonesia suspended due to confrontation. So severe unemployment. So the 20,000 school leavers, and the 14.3% population unable to find jobs. Another challenge, entry-port trade. Because of different situations around the world where trade slowed down, countries are restricting foreign produced goods. So these are the challenges, the 3 main points of the challenges are here. The 3 main points of the strategies are these 3. So according to what they ask. Okay? There's another thing, if they ask you this, they can also ask you explain the challenges Singapore faced after independence. If they ask you this specific question, then 1 paragraph should be on the economic, 1 or 2 on the economic, and 1 or 2 on the belonging. So you have to cram everything, squeeze everything together, the 3 main points into 1 or 2 paragraphs. If let's say they ask you this way, on the broader way of asking, but most likely they may not ask you this way. They ask you specifically on the economic, or the or the sense of belonging, or the military challenge. Okay, so is it clear? That will be under security threat or military challenge. Then you write that. So your internal and external, if you look at the essay, is under the security challenge. So what is the security challenge we face? That is the confrontation, 1 point. Communism and lack of defense force. So this what came out in the test already, so just do accordingly. So that will be the internal and external threat in terms of confrontation happening, in terms of communism, fear of communism spreading, in terms of the strong lack of defense force. Okay, so if you look at strategy, then it will be in NS, military cooperation, and defense industry. These 3, according to your test, is linked to the overcoming security challenge. Okay, so security, then economic, then sense of belonging. So these are the 3 things. Okay, so any more questions? Just make sure you have the main points stated very very clearly and you should be okay. You write according to what they ask you in the question. So what will be similar is your main point and your evidence. You must give two main points. Okay, don't worry, the question will be very straightforward. Challenge of economy. Yes, so this is for the essay. Challenge or strategy, then choose two out of the three main points, write clearly, explain how it links back to the main point. Okay, if the essay so sense of belonging is about how do we build a sense of belonging after independence and why do we need to build. So for the why part, okay, most likely they may not ask you this, the why part, why do you need to build a sense of belonging? So why is because we just separated with Malaysia, we are a new country, we have many Malaysians who may want to qualify, who are qualified for Malaysian citizenship. Okay, and hence if you don't have a united people with a sense of belonging, then when you want to carry out your policies, economy, health and all these things, it's going to be difficult. So that is why so for strategy is how do we create this sense of belonging for the people. So first we have the pledge. Who created it? You must know S. Rajaratnam created this pledge. They write what the pledge says. What is the purpose of this pledge? So by making it as a common practice, daily practice, the values will be ingrained inside the students, will be ingrained inside you. You will see yourself as Singaporean. Together, when you together with your classmates, that's when you have a sense of belonging. So NS also, you go through thick and thin together. Okay, this is a bit short this paragraph. Please extend it and say what NS is, what NS does. But the key thing is that different race and religions or economic background will train together. So you have a common purpose, you have a common vision, you have a common identity when you train together. So you identify yourself with the people around you. Hence, you have a sense of belonging to your country because you're all doing the same, having the same objective. Okay, then HDB again. HDB is about ownership. When you have a ownership, a stake in the country. In the past, people did not live in HDBs, they live in kampongs. They do not own a house. The government helped them to own a house. So each house is well provided with market, shops, clinics, and this thing. So when you own a house, you have a stake, you will feel a sense of belonging. You will feel like you're attached to this country. You have something to fight for. So hence sense of belonging created. Also because different race and religions in each estate will come together, interact in this common space. Thus when they interact, that's when you have sense of belonging. The pledge is a pledge to say that we are united, that despite race, religion, or background, we will achieve happiness, we will achieve progress. Okay, so the reason for the pledge is the key thing. It's so that regardless of our race, we will all identify with common values, common beliefs. Okay, maybe they won't ask you about difference so much. Actually, the people who are here listening are those who are going to do well. So what about those who are not going to do well? Are they here listening? My webcam doesn't seem to be working. I don't know why, but it's okay. Anyway, yes. So if no more questions, all the best. Write properly, write clearly. That's the most important thing. You must write clearly. For the purpose question, please write because you want to convince blah blah blah. An outcome, message and outcome with evidence. Make sure your evidence match your inference, your message. For essay, make sure you have 2 paragraphs, clear main points, clear evidence, and clear explanation back to the factor, the issue that they ask you to explore. Okay, look for some words that can help you link your evidence to exploring by writing the word because blah 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 blah. Okay. Okay. So anyway, before I go, let me try something. Okay, never mind. This thing doesn't work. So yes, so enjoy yourself. Have fun doing the paper. Don't sleep. Do your best and have a good rest tonight. You will do well. Don't worry. Those that are here, I'm very confident that you will do well. Okay? And don't forget your science as well. Okay, Ken? Okay. Thank you. You may leave now. Remember to thank me after you take the exam. Remember to give me a good card and present for Teachers Day. So this marks the end of the history curriculum. I hope you have fun taking history. I hope you will consider, if you do well and you have a love for the subject, please consider taking it next year. I'll be very happy if you do. What if you still fail? Don't worry, you won't fail. The only reason why you will fail is because you never answer the question. Then you will fail. If you do all the steps correctly, right at the side first, then you will not fail. Okay? So if you do well, this is your reward. You can have all the money in the world to buy whatever you want to buy. whatever games that you want to buy, you can buy. But first you need to study and do well before you can do this. Okay, so I'll bring the games to school. After exam, if you do well, we can have a session in the fun box. We will play our board games together in the fun box. If you do well, some very fun games. Even more fun than Xbox or PlayStation. Yes, I'll specially book the fun box. Then we can go inside and have a gaming session after the exam. Board games are fun. They are more fun than video games. Okay, so next time we can have another session of this chat, but I don't know how come the webcam is not working.